So today we have a very special Drash today. So we have two and one. So amen.
As of last night at around 8 o'clock, there were 0. And now there's 2. That's like God math, I think. So Lisa's going to start. She's going to do hers first.
Good morning. So, sorry about all this noise up here. I have just a quick illustration. This kind of came from something I heard on the radio one morning this week as I was going to work. I think, if I remember right, they were talking about if they match their socks with their shirts that they wear, something like that. So that's where this came from. So let's call this our original. This is the real McCoy. This is it. All right. And then we have this one, also beautiful, right? Good color. And then we also have this one. What do you think about that? You like that one too? Yeah? They're all good. And then last but not least, we have the socks. So in this Torah portion this morning, we have, they're told not to worship the sun or the moon or anything in the heavens. So let's say that, let me back up. In the morning or at night, I usually get my clothes ready the night before. Let's say I decide I want to wear this shirt, right? And then I have to pick out other stuff that goes with it. And like when I'm getting my clothes together, it's perfectly fine if they're not all exactly the same color, because it really doesn't matter. It kind of goes together. It's good enough. It's close enough. But if we're talking about who we choose to worship, it does matter. You can't just pick this color, or this one, or this one, or this one. You can't say, well, they're all the same, because if I hold these up all together, you're going to see that they are not all the same. They might be sort of the same, but they're not exactly the same. I'll try and hold these up so you can see them all at one time. So you can see there are actually 4 different colors, right? So it does matter who you choose to worship. You can't just pick any one and say, oh, it's all the same and it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Just pick one. It has to be the original. So that's my Drash for today.
Lisa, I think you get so many great ideas listening to the radio on the way to work. There have been some excellent Drashes that come out of your drive to work. Shabbat Shalom. So what I have is not exactly related to our Parsha, which is why I was so glad when Lisa said, I have an illustration that goes with the Parsha. I was like, excellent. But it's something the Lord showed me recently as I was preparing for the new homeschool year with our homeschool group that we have. And it's been blessing me, sort of reminded me of some things that are really important. So I thought I'd share it today. So we read from John 14 in the Brit Hadashah this morning, where Yeshua is explaining how he and the Father are one of the many, 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 many times he says that I and the Father are one, and everything I speak is of the Father, because he is a prophet like unto Moses. So there, I've tied it back to the Parsha. But if we back up, because that was in the Parsha, a prophet like unto Moses. But if we back up to John 13, specifically 34 and 35, a lot of you are probably already know which verse I'm talking about. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you, so also you must love one another. By this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Well, that sounds easy enough on the surface, right? We just love one another, right? Good. And we love each other every week here. We're always glad to see each other. We give hugs and handshakes and high fives and, so we already kind of know how to do this. So I'm preaching to the choir a bit. But the word I received from the Lord is that you cannot fulfill John 34 and 35 unless you are actively utilizing 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. Say it if you know it. Love is? Yeah. I thought about two jokes there. I was either going to interrupt you and go, nope, not fast enough. Or I was just going to wait a long time. But love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not brag. It is not puffed up. It's not arrogant. It does not behave inappropriately. Here's a kicker for a lot of us. I'll raise my hand. It does not seek its own way. Here's another one. It is not provoked. It keeps no account of wrong. It does not rejoice over injustice, but rejoices in truth. And verse 7, it bears all, oh, yes, it does bear fruit. That's very good, Naomi. It bears all things. It believes all things. It hopes all things. And it endures all things. So it takes exercising all the 1 Corinthians 13 muscles. And they are muscles. They have to be practiced. It takes practice not to be provoked. For me, it has taken practice not to try to get my own way, and not to keep an account of wrongs, It takes exercising all those muscles to be able to show the love that our master, I put in here, is asking, but really he's commanding. It's a commandment. He's commanding us to give one another. And I feel very blessed, being this messy, mucky human that I am, that the Lord has brought us all to this place where we can walk this path together. Love you. Shabbat shalom.